Welcome to the Bounty Hunters. We are reviewing
episodes 9 through 11 of the Bad Batch season 3.
The Bad Batch. Okay, so this is 8 episodes, and I think that is enough to be able to say that this show is a lot better when the freaking Omega isn't the acting primary actor in the movie.
The driving force.
Yes.
Yeah.
When she is the reason for it all and she makes little comments here and there, it's actually enjoyable. Like, I wasn't hating on her for like 9 episodes. She's actually somewhat enjoyable. I mean, she's predictable. You know, she's going to say, oh, golly gee, we got to go save them and all that stuff. But it's not horrifying. We have the first episode where they're on the island. I've been saying it now for quite a while that they're going to get all those people killed. And I actually thought they did the whole cave thing pretty well because it was very ominous, right? Whenever she went into the cave and the music changed and you didn't know what was in there. I mean, they spoiled it enough that we pretty much knew what was going to be in the cave, but you didn't know. And I wasn't 100% sure that's where it was. And I thought they actually did this scene really, really well. This whole episode was awesome. However, I'm not forgiving the fact that they're not addressing, they still didn't address her. Then she says she has multiple lives. How the hell she's even in this episode? I don't understand why it was necessary. I thought they were going to make it where the only way this made sense is you had to have Ventress. If you don't know who it is, spoiler alert, by the way, sorry, that they had to have her. Something about her life experience, you needed her, and that's why it was so important to be her. Now, that's one of my favorite characters of all time. I love Ventress, and you really didn't need her. You could have used anyone. You really did, in my opinion, you didn't need her. So I still want to figure out why. If you know her story and you know why she died and what it died for, just to pretend like that didn't happen or don't give us a good reason, it doesn't make sense. It's a really weird way to do this. And did you guys see why it was particularly her that needed to be in this episode?
They need to have a next show set up to go. So she needs to be the lead from the next show.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they wanted to have a Jedi, basically a gray Jedi, essentially, to fill that role. And they really didn't have much options they were probably thinking of.
You could just create a new character.
No, but you know what that issue would be? Now where's this Jedi come from? Now how did they survive orders to this?
You could have created another character. You could have done anything. They got Jedis all over the damn place. They could have done something.
But at the very least, they did that, and I would say I was happy how they did her character here. It wasn't they didn't try and just use her character. They didn't just try and use her. They didn't okay, we're just put her in here and just have Ventress be there for the sake of being there. We needed people to be interested in the show. Actually did provide a service for the plot. Also beat the crap out of the Bad Batch, which was nice to see.
That was pretty good.
I'm sorry, this might I don't know, trigger some people, but I think it was also because Ventress was a chick and there's not a lot of chicks and they wanted a chick, I think, in my opinion, not to be a jerk, but I really do think they wanted a female because, and I'm not saying that's a wrong thing, because Omega's a female and this is somebody she could look up to. You know what I mean? In the actual way, Disney should be looking at things, doesn't always have to be this. You can say a boy needs a guy to lead him. She needs a girl. And I would say when I was sitting there thinking in my head, who could they have done to do this? A horrifying thought popped in my head that I said, you know what? It's better than that. And that's Ahsoka. The fact that they didn't try to shoehorn that one in there actually makes me happy because they could have done something silly like that and just made Ahsoka show up on everything. And
Ahsoka showed up there would turn the TV off.
And so I'm actually happy she didn't. You know that I love Ahsoka, but that would have been too much. I would have been okay, good Lord. Why don't you just milk this character for all it's worth? And I did think it was also weird that the way to find out, everybody has instant testers, including one of the greatest Star Wars characters in the history of all the worlds, who will be on the next episode we'll talk about. Everybody has instant read thermometers for Jedis. They can just go pop. Oh, yep, that's got the blood in it. And she's like, there's only one way to test you. Put this apple on your head and see if it balances. That was weird. So what was that?
I thought she was just messing with her the whole time. As a matter of fact, she was just kind of testing her patience and such.
Yeah.
Not actually testing her.
But she did mention at the end, I guess, where she said, well, if I did say that she had a lot of it, she would need to go away. And are you willing to let her go and get trained somewhere? So like there was some of that.
Test was just go to this place with the sun sets, leaves. Okay, now that I got her to leave. Like convincing the kid to go, oh, go play over there with them, right? We'll leave us for a bit, basically.
I thought they were gonna pretend like they didn't know who she was. I was like, she's one of the most famous clone killers ever. Like they should know who she is. And I'm glad they were like, you're right, it is her. Like I'm glad that they didn't like play that off like they like who is this?
The hair got in the way.
Oh well, Superman can put glasses on. What did you think about this episode, Kachung?
Nah, not too bad. I thought it was pretty good. It was good to see Ventress again.
Yeah, she's awesome.
The yellow lightsaber is pretty neat. The serpent on the pauldron, that's the Dathomir serpent, right?
I didn't even take that in.
It kind of showed that there's that dark essence still in her, but she's kind of towing that line between good and bad now.
If I had bet you $5, both of you, I think would have took me on that bet. That if I said they're going to test Omega to see if she has any kind of ability whatsoever, will she make the pebble float? And you both would have said yes. She'll make it. She'll make it wiggle at least. And the fact that she did absolutely nothing, I was stunned. I was like, they're not going to make her even make a pebble move? Like, I was so excited.
She's going to launch a pebble into the doctor's throat and kill him.
Well, that's fine. But at least she didn't do it the very first try, which that's what they've been doing lately in everything. It's like you practice for 30 seconds, suddenly you're a master. I was so excited that they didn't make her do that right on the first try. Like, I was like, thank you. That was kind of awesome.
I actually wrote, is she going to learn the Force faster than Sabine? Well, I think she knows that she has it. She just said no.
Here's the other thing that I still think that they make the Bad Batch look stupid, even though they're supposed to be the Force. Because you had an assassin killer who you know nothing about. She doesn't know anything about you. And she found you very quickly, and they don't even know how she got there. The fact that they're still not monitoring the skies at night is alarming. The fact that the Bad Batch people don't just have somebody looking up ever so often. Because they just keep.
I thought they have droids who could do it 24/7.
It's an island. It is like the whole Earth. You have to look at it. It'd be like if we had a little island and you can't look up at the sky to see who's coming. But she snuck up on there. How they weren't immediately already packing up whenever she was still showing her the way. They should have been like, we got to go. Like, this chick just found us like this. We got to go. And they're just like, whatever. We'll talk about it later. Maybe we'll have a meeting to decide.
And again, Hunter just had no idea that Ventress had showed up.
Yeah, he hasn't sensing that,
He has no.
Although he did sense something later, but we'll talk about that.
He has his senses come and go. They definitely.
They do.
I don't know what if it's gas. I'm not sure what blocks it, but it blocks it more than it shows up. It's really weird. But none of them do.
He's been having some death sticks when no one's looking.
Well, I did like it when Rekka was looking at her, and then she looks up.
And he was like, how did she know we're watching her? Like, that was pretty good, actually. All right, so that is that episode. I didn't write down the episode names. That's unfortunate.
That was called the Harbinger.
There you go.
Harbinger.
Some notes. Batcher is Lassie. I guess Batcher's Lassie now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder what's in Crosshair's backpack because he carries around everywhere.
Mirrors. Tons of mirrors.
That face off with the squid turtle kraken thing.
Yeah, I thought that was weird that they were like immediately like, oh, this is evil. Let's start fighting it. And I was like, it looks like a turtle. Like, how do you guys know it's mad?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Okay.
I was like, it's a turtle.
All right, continue first.
So the Harbinger, the Ventress episode, I gave it a 7.1. It wasn't as great as it was a little underwhelming. I thought it might have been better, but I did like it. With the yellow blades. Who were the first Jedi, so to speak, to have yellow blades? Do we know?
In terms of the history, I mean, in appearance, first scene.
It would be the ones in the old Republic. They all have yellow blades in there. Seems like.
Technically speaking, episode 1. we never really saw it there, but like just after in the comics, it was
I remember the
Cloak had
temple
orange. Cloak had orange, and someone else had yellow. Who was it? Had yellow.
Now, are you talking about when those comic book guys went rogue and started painting random ass lightsabers, or like
pretty much that? Otherwise, it's Temple. Although it would be Bastila
right?
Shan would probably be the first notable one from Knights of the Republic.
Yeah, I was about to say it's Knights of the Republic people, I believe.
Right. I just wrote it down from that episode. The Temple Guards. It reminded me of the Temple Guards.
The first time I remember seeing
Skywalker was the first one to do it.
Shut your mouth. The first time I remember seeing it was the MMO Star Wars, like one of their expansion packs. Yep. I never played it, but I remember seeing the cutscenes were amazing on that whole series. They had the greatest cutscenes ever. And there was like some guy with his sons or something. I'm not really sure that storyline. And they all had yellow lightsabers. I remember that. Yellow lightsaber's awesome. I love the yellow lightsaber. The yellow and orange are like one of my two favorite. Yeah, they're awesome. So he has 7, and what do you have?
What did you get?
Yes, 6. Straightforward episode. I give it a 6 because Ventress gets the whole point. She was the best part about the episode. That's the point of the episode, I think. And just she was great. I was happy to see her, and she did a good job. Otherwise, just middle of the road. If it was,
you two are incels and hate women, because that's a 7.5 all day just for Ventress being there at the very least.
You didn't go with 7 because 6. You should have 6.9 to bridge the gap.
No, 7.5 is where that is because Ventress is awesome. And I
gave the last one a 6.8, but then I gave it a 7 because Fennec was in it.
There you go. Ventress is in it. That's a 7.5 anytime that she's there. That's just all there is to that. I didn't make any rhyme or reason why she was there, but she was there.